Hi guys, Rebecca here. I wanted to show you what the last couple of weeks have been like in the two different, well, this one's almost A5 size, just slightly smaller. Maybe it is A5, but I wanted to show you the difference between the two. And then on my next video, I'll share my personal planner as well as the Hobonichi weeks. And then the last video I'll do this week will be on the B6 Franklin Covey A Day on a Page bound planner. So stay tuned for those later this week, but for today's purposes, I just wanted to dig in to the two different A5s, give you how I've been using them and which way I'm leaning at the moment on which one to use for the rest of the year, because obviously I really don't want to maintain both of these at the same time, but I have been in trying to figure out the pros and cons of each. So we'll start with the Jibun Techo A5 Slim. I'm currently housing it in a Giglio Appunto in A5 size. This is the gold color. I have a Jibun Techo like pocket insert that's supposed to go in the plastic. Some Hobonichi stencils, some of these page flags from the Container Store, some Jibun Techo page flags, and some more Hobonichi stencils. This is the case that it originally comes in. I went ahead and kept it in its case. There's no reason for me to take it out. I put my name sticker that I got from Planner Chick Designs, and then these are from Daiso. They just so happen to fit perfectly within one block period area within the Hobonichi and the Jibun Techo. The first section I won't go over because it's the Life book, and I have done a previous video on the B6 version on that, so I just want to show you what I've done with the weekly pages, because that's really what it boils down to, what you're really using it for. The year at a glance, I keep track of a variety of things like my husband's days off, firm holidays, cycles because I'm having to report back to my doctor on that, etc. You know, a variety of things. I have a savings challenge that I created a couple of years ago, and this payment cycle for savings I think works the best for me, and it's every 2 weeks as opposed to every week since I am paid bi-weekly. And then at the end, it stops at the end of November because really you need to start buying Christmas presents in December. So I have it stopped at that point. I actually put more in there than what the challenge requires, but at minimum, this is what I want to put in. I started doing the goals for the year, but I haven't finished them. As I work them out, hopefully maybe in the next couple of weeks. It's just been so chaotic this last couple of weeks. And then I have my financial section. I showed that last time as well, and each month gets its own. And I just put a dot when the amount is paid. I got these stickers that cover up these sections that are in Japanese from Inko on Etsy, and they fit perfectly. You can choose the color of the headers. I chose gray just because the planner itself has a lot of this grayscale. So, and I really didn't want it to be like in your face bold colors. It doesn't bother me that it's not. Maybe I should have went with maybe a prettier color, but this is my work planner, so I don't really care. I did start writing some things in here, like the books that I've started reading. I don't want this to be my favorite books. This is just a book log. And then some movies that I watched throughout the year. With my husband, I plan to log. And then this first page is my tracking page. Now, I was gone out of town this week, so there, I couldn't make my bed if I was out of town, etc. So I didn't bother to fill this in at all because I wasn't home. I started doing it again today, and I'll continue. But I don't think I'm going to do separate colors like I did with the brushes over here. It just is a lot of work. So I will keep it simple and a single color. I have a paper clip that clips it to the month that we're currently in. There's a lot of mistakes that took place because I was supposed to, this travel week was supposed, well, actually, I thought it was supposed to be this week. So there's a lot of whiteout over here. And I was told on this date that, no, you actually have to be here tomorrow for New York. So I had to quickly change everything. This isn't really a high level overview. It just tells me if I'm in town or if I can book an appointment, things like that. If a doctor calls me, etc., to schedule something. Now I did get some stickers from that same INTCO. That's how you spell it. Intco on Etsy. And so February's monthly spread came in, and I think I set this up wrong, but I don't really care. I don't really care about stickers that much. I do like to put stickers for holidays in here, and these are actually from Planner Chick Designs. The Super Bowl one came with this package from Inco. But it's nice. I mean, it's not there. It came with a lot more stuff, and this was about the max I can do on stickers. Again, here's March, but let's just dive right into the weekly schedule of how that's been working for me so far. So I got it the week of Christmas, and I really got my inspiration from Yukiko on YouTube, where she showed her method of planning in a Hobonichi Techo cousin. I thought it was brilliant, and I thought that could really work for me. So I started doing it in the same kind of methodology that she described. However, at the top, I only put the weather. In this top section, I put all-day events or birthdays, people's vacations, holidays, travel, and anything that's an all-day event. This section, which starts at 7 a.m., it does change because these are actually, the white bubbles are daylight hours, and the grayish area are when it's nighttime. But it's based on Japan's time zone, so I don't know. Anyway, it changes throughout the year because of the the equinox and the daylight savings daylight savings. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so this top section that's in the daylight hours, I use as my schedule because I usually don't get an appointment before 7 a.m. and I'm usually done with the day around 2 p.m. for work, but I do occasionally volunteer at the Legion, American Legion, at 3 o'clock. But I don't need to mark how late I'm working. So this section, which is the nighttime hours, I use for tasks that are specific to that day. Down here, I indicate a note or how the day went, along with my mood, and sometimes I'll put why I was in that, had that mood. Like, for example, I was not happy that day because I had an upset stomach. Then this bottom section is strictly for meals. And then over on the left, I put, things that I needed to do that week. Then, again, using Yukiko's plan, I kind of outlined it so that I could show pictures of this. So all day events, appointments, tasks, notes, and meals. And then this section I put here temporarily because I was waiting for the little Jibun Techo, there's these sticky notes that you can buy that are the perfect size for the columns to fit in here, and they were out of stock at the moment, so I just temporarily, where did I do it? I temporarily just put my projects in the weekend, but I ended up having an event that, this wasn't going to work, so I knew I needed those stickers. I put an all-day event up there, etc. It looked nice. I liked it. Then this was last week, and my rush to change my travel day to Tuesday. I had to backdate this after I got back because I didn't take this with me to New York. I was being promoted to vice president, and I kind of asked the community which planner I should take because I knew that this was potentially what I was going for, and I didn't want to look like it was unprofessional. I think my use of stickers is the only reason why I hesitated on taking this to New York. But when I'm home and it's me, I don't care. So I like a little bit of color on the page, especially with the weather at the top. I like using highlighters to really make things pop off the page, but I don't necessarily need the stickers. So this is another round of the Inkco stickers sets. This is a weekly set. One thing, I like the stickers. However, they are permanent. You can't, once you touch that paper, you better be careful because you'll rip it if you try to lift it. So they're not quite even. My mistake, not the sticker company's mistake. But it didn't have days of the week on it, and there's really not much room to write it. So if I could suggest anything to Inkco is to move the date to one side or the other so that we can manually write in the date, because I can't just not have the date up there. Even though it's over here, I don't want to have to glance. So anyway, it just makes more sense to me to have it next to the date. So I just use these clear ones from Carpe Diem. Anyway, this is this current week. I use these little Daiso flags for things that I don't have to actually like record. I mean, if I go back in, I'm not going to sit there and go, when was the last time I swept him up? So no, I don't need to keep this, but it's just a reminder that I should sweep him up this day. The routine one moves daily because I have a routine that I need to do. And these cleaning chores are moved weekly. So if I don't do it this day, I might move it here, and then if I do it there, I move it to the next week. If it's not on the week, I did it for the week. So, but I don't sit there and also go back and say I didn't vacuum because I wasn't even home this week. So it really doesn't matter. I don't care. Or at least my husband and isn't gonna reprimand me because I didn't vacuum. So again, got my food intake here. A note about yesterday and why I had a little, not unhappy, but like day. And then next week is already set up. I got a new ink, but I definitely don't like the ink because I felt like it was bleeding through. So I will not be using that anymore next week. I will switch to the Jibun, the Decimo. I just changed the ink on that one. Just got this ink. It's a very nice color. Anyway. Now I did get a Valentine sticker set from Inkco also. I just put bare minimum, but this time I put it up a little higher so that the weather showed through. I just wrote the dates in rather than using stickers, and again, just kept it minimal. I really don't draw that line on a regular basis. I know where the lines are for me. I do it mostly for others who ask me about why I have a separation, and it's simply to better explain these things that I've got going on. Okay, so that's how I'm using it, and I'm liking it so far. What I like best about this one as opposed to this one is the columns are a little bit wider. Okay, now let's look at the Agendio, which is a nearly A5 size. Sorry. Yearly view. Also, I would track those other things that I was tracking. I need to do that on this page, but I've also been doing it on the monthly page. So I don't know which way I want to stick with it. This one's set up a little different in that I also have a column to track stats for my work, which I don't have set up in the monthly page of the Jibun Techo. I just look at the weekly page because I do the stats every week. So that's really the only thing that differs from that one. Plus I have a section where I can put in my vacation totals. Like if I take a day off for vacation, it would go in here so that I can keep track how many I have left. How much I put into savings, I need to add that to there. I also need to add my measurements, which I did take on the first, and I believe I wrote that down on the first to make sure I did it. I finished a book, so I will put that I'm finished reading this and I started reading that, which is Origin by Dan Brown. Then the next page is just like a monthly, what kind of stuff I want to improve on. I'm not good at saying what I do well, as you can tell. And then I've got the monthly tracker, which I've been doing really well with. I was out of town those days. And then I have this little clip. I got these from Kinokuniya shop in New York this past week, and I got them because they were in a variety of colors that I have never seen them in before. Normally, I only see them in the brass version. Let me see if I can pull one out of the brass. I don't even know where I have them. Oh, here's a brass one. Okay, so this is what I normally had holding the page. But, hey, nice pretty pink one. And literally what it does is it holds the page that, or the current week that I'm on, to the tracker page. So I just snap it onto that so I can flip between my tracker. Now let me show you the weekly page. So this was the first week. It started on January 1st as opposed to December 25th like the Jibun. Now the difference is same thing. You've got the top part where the weather goes. You also have all day events, birthdays, things like that. Then you have a 7 to 4:30 schedule. Now the holidays are already defined. Birthdays for family members are already defined. Again, holidays. And then to-dos are already predefined in here. So my habit tracker reminder is in here every day. On every single day, it's already there. Then I have things that I do every week, like my team stats and recruits, and I put that on. I've got, what else do I have in here? I have things like other birthdays, but it's been working fine. I didn't mark these as being done. They probably did get done. But it's just that the columns are slightly, and I mean slightly, like this is, I think, 1 inch wide as opposed to maybe 1.25 inches on the, I don't think they're quite 1.5 inches on the Jibun Techo, but this is 1 inch wide. So, you get that little extra room, it can make a load of difference. I've got a section already predefined for my Bible study. I do it Monday through Thursday, and then my weekly to-dos, projects that I'm currently working on, so that if I kind of like draw to an end on one, I can kind of make progress on the next, and they don't fall from my my vision of the entire month of what projects I need to complete and anything I need to follow up with. So those things are already predefined, meaning that I have to actually put these in to my planner on the Jibun. I have to write this week. I have to write my projects. I have to write what things I need to follow up with, where these sections are already predefined and they repeat every week, so I don't have to do it. So in addition to the Jibun Techo having wider columns, it's a little bit more fun to set up because I can do these things. However, some people might find that I don't have the time for that. So this is great because it's already pre-set up. I don't have to worry about it, and you don't have to keep writing the same things over and over again, etc. So this is the current week that I'm on, and so far it's working fine. And, like I said, in the back of here I have my household, chores. I don't know. Yeah, I did show you the monthly page for January. So this is the household chores. As you can see, I've been making progress on my January to-dos. And then I'm trying to figure out a way to track the monthly. I've done more than this, but I don't know how to get like 12 dots or something in here to show that I did it monthly. So that if I'm on January, when I move to February, how can I tell, if I did it? So I'm just trying to determine the best way to mark it, so that I can track it. Anyway, if you guys have an idea about that, let me know. This I don't bother with tracking because it's a weekly thing, and again, it doesn't bother me so much if something didn't get done because I have 4 more weeks to try to get it done, and it's not like saying that my house is so dirty that if I don't do it, it's going to get like disgusting or something. Anyway, and then I have my financial tracker. Same thing. I didn't like the little triangles I was making, so I turned it into dots instead, but it's the same setup. It's just predefined. I already had it typed in. And then I have a weight tracker that I plan to keep track of each month. I just have to finish filling it out. I just had to figure out where, I did it in pencil first, and now I have to figure out how I want the monthly chart to be laid out. I have a stencil back here and the Bible reading plan the year, because I'm at the end, but, well, I'm late from last year, so I'm playing catch up for this year. And I just have it clipped with one of those brass clips and another clip on the back, and it just keeps it attached so I can quickly reference it. So, those are the 2 A5s I've been using, the Jibun Techo and the Agendio. And for the sake of quick and getting things done, yay on the Agendio. On the colorfulness and the width of the columns, yay on the Jibun Techo. So I think I'm leaning more to the Jibun, but other times I hate letting the Agendio go to waste too. So that's my decision on the A5 right now is Jibun, and I will be setting this one aside for the time being in case I want to go back to it. I still have it, but I do have a financial tracker in this one as well. I didn't show it, or I don't think I showed it. But everything that's in here, I have in here. So right now, that's the goal, is to stick with this one. And then next video, I'll show you the personal and the Hobonichi weeks and the B6 in the daily, and try to narrow this down by talking with you guys. So I hope you will stick around for my next video on the personal and Hobonichi weeks. Talk to you guys later. Thanks. Bye.